Welcome back to the Balls Not Court podcast. Cortez Podcast here alongside with Kevin Carter. Once again, I want to thank Steve for joining the show.
Steve!
Good guy. He knows his stuff, man. So I'm pretty sure y'all hear more of Steve come back on because he initially came and talked to me and wanted to join the podcast or come in and talk about the podcast because he said he wanted to do something like that on his own. I said, dude, come on our show and you can come on from time to time because I know my buddy right here, Kevin, was a big college fan and Steve's a big college fan, so I knew it would be a good fit for him to come on the show and him and Kevin have a nice back and forth there about National Signing Day. So, still doing that. So, we're gonna hop into basketball. This is where you're gonna hear most of me talking, and Kevin adding his little 2 cents. But we'll go and talk a little bit of basketball. As far as last night, the two of the best of the East and the West played against each other last night. Golden State versus Atlanta. Atlanta ended up beating them I want to say 116 or 113. Mm-hmm. And it was a pretty good game. And I want to ask Kevin first before I go into it. Do you think it's a possible NBA Finals preview at all?
I don't want to go that far because, like I said before, and I'll keep saying it again, you live and die by your jump shot.
Yeah.
When you start missing in a 7-game series, you miss 4 games, you're done. So I don't want to say it is. It could be. It'd be fun if it was for 7 games. Yeah. But I just can't go out on that limb and say yes, a definite.
Let me correct myself on the scores. Warriors won. It was Hawks 124 and Hawks 116.
No, it was the Hawks 124 and the Warriors 116.
That's what I said.
No, you didn't. You said it was the Hawks 124 and the Hawks 116.
Whatever. Something like that.
The Hawks won. They beat the Warriors.
Basically, the Hawks won. Okay. Klay Thompson ended up adding 29 points and 4 rebounds, and Jeff T had 23 and 7. Hawks are 42 and 9. NBA best record right now. Golden State is 39 and 9, the best record in the West. Right now, you look at, is this parity good for the NBA? Because the Lakers and the Knicks are at the bottom of the league. Big market teams. I know you say
last 4 years, you had who? Always in the finals. You had the Miami Heat, always in the finals, and you had Oklahoma City, San Antonio, and Dallas in the finals. Parity is good if you don't want to see the same teams come in over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. So parity, in my mind, I like parity. So it's fine with me, and I like to see other teams do well. Mm-hmm. I like it, and it was cool seeing Miami in there because you really don't think Miami should have been in there but you got the best player in the world. And that's why they made it to 4 straight finals. But it was kind of parity when they started making it in, but everybody expected it because they had the super team. But now with these guys, you don't expect it because they're not a super team, especially the Hawks. Yeah. The Hawks have no guy that you would go, that's your superstar. They have no guy. They are a solid group of individuals that make up a very good team, coming under a coach that coached with Greg Popovich. Yeah, but I like parity.
Yeah, see, this is the thing with me too. I like the parity right now because, like you said, Miami and OKC, who was consistent going to NBA Finals or Conference Finals, everything like that. Mm-hmm. They're now trying to battle for playoff spots. I know Miami is in 9th and OKC is in 10th. Chicago and the Clippers are struggling at the moment. They're still in the playoff, but Chicago. Many people pick Chicago to come out the East, and it's still far from over. It is. But as of right now, I am enjoying this because, like Kevin said, you're seeing team basketball. As far as for the Hawks, how they're doing this is amazing. Every guy's 1 through 5 can shoot a perimeter shot 15 feet and back. So it's hard to guard that when you have that spacing, even from your center. Their center, Peo Antich, can shoot a 3. The foreign man can shoot a 3. Al Horford has been known to shoot 3s as well.
Yeah, he's been my key.
Yeah.
For this team because they didn't have him last year for a lot of last year. And they didn't have him. And now with him in there, you can see a different flow for their offense. Because Al Horford's a great passing big man. He's a good passing big man. He always looks for the open guy. He always finds the guy. Mm-hmm. Him and Joakim Noah were 2 great passing big. That's why that Florida team was so good. because they had them two great passers.
Right.
But with Al in there, he adds that other dimension, and he can pull a guy out.
Right.
He don't have as long as range as Chris Bosh, but he's Chris Bosh-esque from his range, his inside the 3-point line range. He's Chris Bosh-esque, but he has a better inside game, and he's younger. But now that he's healthy, you can see that they like to see it flow through him. So he's the one guy I look at as going, okay, he may be your superstar, but there's really no guy you can go, that guy.
Yeah. And like you say, you got Jeff Teague. This team has 3 All-Stars, and they're vying for a 4th in Cal Corey to replace. I don't know if Dwayne Wade's going to make it to the All-Star game this year.
He ain't. He's best to sit out and rest.
Right. But the Hawks, they just are running well right now. And it was a month ago, I'm waiting for them to, lose. I'm waiting for them to lose. They finally did lose. They got back winning again. And they're solid, man. So I'm not going to take the Hawks lightly anymore. This is the team to be reckoned with. I don't know how far they can make in the playoffs, but it'll be a fun thing to watch with this team ball. I mean, they got great talent, man, everywhere. Cal Corey, I done mentioned his name. You got
having a great season from behind the line.
Exactly.
Retarded shooting the ball. I think he's over 50% from the 3-point line.
3-point line, his true percentage, and this is combined of his free throw shooting, field goal shooting, and 3-point shooting, is at 77% true percentage.
That's retarded.
That is insane. So whenever
he's shooting almost 90% from the from the free throw line.
Right.
50 from behind the arc, and probably 60 something in the rest of his shots.
Right. So 77% that he touches the ball and he throw a shot up, he's going to make that shot. Out of all of those 3 shots, that is insane. It's pretty good for Cal Korver. And then
he dunked twice.
And he dunked twice. You got Paul Millsap. Paul Millsap has been a great addition from this guy from the Jazz, and he's got, he can stretch the floor and he can rebound, and he's just watching these two teams play on the flip side. You got Golden State. Steph Curry, what can you say about that guy? That guy just shooting flat lights out. We'll talk about him in a minute. You got Klay Thompson. You got Andrew Bogut. He's, on and off, he's been injury prone, but he's been staying a little bit healthier every now and then. So now when he come in, he actually is a glue to that defense. Andre Iguodala, who will start on most teams.
Oh, yeah.
He's agreeing to come off the bench because Harrison Barnes fits better in the starting lineup. Mm-hmm. Draymond Green, who is not being talked about.
He's their energy dude.
Yeah. Draymond Green, who's just does it all. Pass the ball pretty well, rebound. He wants to guard the best wing player, post player. Passes the ball from the top.
I think Andre's a little older, so he don't mind coming off the bench and risking up a little bit.
He don't. So
he can come in and play those spurts.
Right. So
which on that team they do play spurts because they like to get the ball up and down the floor.
So these two teams are rightfully so, and they should be a force to be reckoned with. And would I mind this the NBA Finals? Why not? I would not mind. I mean, I still have my doubts that they'll get there, but they can go far in the playoffs.
I'm more scared for Golden State than I am Atlanta. Mm-hmm. Because Golden State, if they hit a sour stretch where they don't have a dude scoring 40, 50 points a game, they're screwed.
Right.
Where Atlanta, they don't need that because they can go so many different areas.
Right.
And they have so many different pieces that they can go to. When Golden State has 2 pieces that they need to have consistently clicking in order to win that part. But anything can happen during 4 games.
Once that fast-paced, quick-paced offense slow down for Golden State, their half-court offense,
it bogs down.
It's terrible to watch, I'll be honest. Because you're just looking for a wide-open shot. And this is, they remind me of OKC a few years ago when they get slowed down and they try to jack these tough shots.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they remind me of. Is that, okay, yeah, you got David Lee, who probably created his own shot in the post, but it's kind of hard to try. David Lee is 6'9", playing some of these power forwards in the West.
Yeah.
So it's very hard to play when the game slow down. Imagine them going up against Memphis in a 7-game Hall series where they can Memphis can actually slow it down.
And Memphis grinds.
So if it gets to the Memphis pace that they like to play, they're in trouble.
Yeah.
They are in trouble. So, question: do you see something unconventional happen in the NBA playoffs this year so far, or basing off the season that you have watched a little bit going on? Because I'm thinking there's going to be some upsets. There could be some upsets. I think, man.
I think there will be. I think there'll be something that no one sees coming,
Mm-hmm.
and then we'll be like, "Oh, they beat them." But I don't see nothing real huge. But I think you'll still have your teams you think will be there.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't see nothing real huge.
Gotcha. All right, moving on to Anthony Davis. If you saw his game winner?
Yeah.
The game winner was over Kevin Durant and another guy, 2 guys. And on top of that, he had 41 points and 10 rebounds. Westbrook in losing effort had 48 points and 11 assists. I mean, should we be talking a little bit more about Anthony Davis in the MVP discussion right now?
We had him real high in it.
I mean, okay, the New Orleans Pelicans is 27-23, 9th in the West. If it's in the East, they'd be 6th, right, taking Milwaukee's spot.
Yeah. But the thing with Anthony Davis is he won't get a lot of love for MVP because their team won't be that high up.
Mm-hmm.
When you got to think when Steve Nash did it, his team was high up in the playoff rankings.
Mm-hmm.
And he played in Phoenix, which is slightly noticeable. He plays in New Orleans, which isn't slightly noticeable for a place. He's a great player, should be in discussion, but I don't think he'll be in that discussion just because of where and how far down his team is. If they make a good run and they get up there, I can see him making it in. But
right. So this guy right now is averaging 24.
Don't get me wrong. He's playing retarded ball right now.
He is. 24 points a game, 10 rebounds a game, near 3 blocks a game, and have an efficiency rating of 31.8. Remember your boy Dwayne Wade was up in the efficiency rating for like 30 something like that, and they went on to win the title that year?
Mm-hmm.
See how much impact this guy has on the court. There's an efficiency stat that states Anthony Davis, when he's on the court, that the New Orleans Pelicans like a 44-win team. When he's off the court, a 24-win team. I tell you how much the talent fall off when he's off there, because he's definitely 1A, and then you got 3B and 3A. And
Yeah.
In retrospect, James Harden has a differential of 13 wins, and Stephen Curry has a differential of 18 wins. Now, Steph Curry is pretty much the guy who they're talking about now as an MVP favorite candidate right now. Rightfully so, because, I mean, this guy's averaging about 25 points a game, 8.6 assists per game with both of career highs. This guy's shooting 40% from three-point line. And for his career, he's 43%. He even never touched 30% in his career, or 37%. Like, usually you see someone at 37%. I was like, oh, okay, it's pretty good three-point shooting. 43% shooting from three-point line? And just dropped 51 on Dallas a few nights ago.
Sound like me.
He's a shooter.
That's all he is, too. That's what he is. He is a shooter. Still averages pretty good assist ratio, too. But the boy is just flat out. It's retarded watching. Between him and Tom. Good God have mercy.
I'm telling you, Steph Curry has every right to definitely lead the discussion MVP candidate, because the guy, when you try to guard your guy that can pass the ball pretty well and can shoot as well as he can, it's hard to guard, man.
Mm-hmm.
And his step back is just so lethal.
Mm-hmm.
So lethal. And it's a pleasure watching this guy. And it's funny because this year we're talking about Steph Curry, Anthony Davis, James Harden. Don't hear much about LeBron James. Don't hear much about Kevin Durant.
It's a new regime.
So
I told you, well, Kevin Durant will be in it if he would have played.
Yeah.
But all the newer guys are starting to get their push, and it's almost time that those guys are going to start coming in, and the other guys are going to start fading